for tuning in to another Musical Theatre Week with Musical Gabby. This week I'll be talking about audience members theatre tips, because there are a lot of tips I can tell you about being an audience member in the theatre. So off we go. Tip 1. So tip 1 is right at the start, so when you're booking the show you would like to see. I would recommend to go to the theatre where the show is being shown at to buy a ticket, because it's much cheaper than going to these other little websites, even though they tell you it is cheaper, and it is not. I've done my research, and my advice is to go to the actual theatre website where the show is being shown. Tip number 2, when you are buying your ticket, make sure if you're on the phone buying your ticket or if you're on a website buying your ticket, just make sure that it doesn't say there's an obstructive view, because you don't want that. Sometimes there's a pole right by you or in front of you, and sometimes there's bits of scenery that might be in front of you too, or lighting, and you don't want that. I've been there and it just ruins the whole experience. What I normally do is I normally go down to the stalls, but not too far back, because I found that you can't hear the music that well if you go too far back, because you're right where the other seats are at the top, so you just can't hear as well as you would if you were right in the front or in the middle by the stalls. Also, if you want to go in the second tier, then go in the front or middle, don't go in the back again, and at the top, at the front or at the middle, it can get very high up there, you can start to feel sick. So it's up to you, all depends what you would like, but just make sure that if you're phoning up or if you're booking on the theatre website, then just make sure there's no pop-ups that say it's an obstructive view, because it's not very nice when something's in front of you and you're trying to watch something. Tip 3. So tip 3 is that if you are a bit short like I am and someone in front of you is quite tall and you can't see some of the stage, what I do and what my mum do, which is a bit naughty but we do it, is put our coats that we've got underneath us and sit on there, and you're just a little bit higher, and with that you can see the world. It's great. That is one of my biggest tips. Tip 4. So tip 4 is don't bring too many bags with you, because the theatres are very small, the seating's very small, and you don't want all these bags in front of you. Just try and reduce that, just bring a little bag, that would be brilliant. Tip 5. So tip 5 is I like to walk around the theatre a little bit, especially if I don't know it. If I'm in London and it's the first time I've been to that theatre, I quite like looking around and seeing where the soundboard is and seeing like where all the mics are, and that's right at the back of the stalls at the bottom. And I quite like just going to the other tiers as well and seeing if there's a little kiosk or a little bar, just like having a look around. And especially on the break time, get up and move your legs, because you're there quite a while and you're in quite a tight space. So yeah, just walk around and see what the theatre has to offer. Tip 6. So tip 6 is bring a cardie. It can get chilly sometimes, because obviously the actors are very hot, so sometimes they do put the aircon on for them, which is no good for the audience. All depends what, if you go in summer or winter. I remember when I went in summer, it was lovely, they had the aircon on and we were really hot, so that was a good thing. But I remember in the winter once, they had the aircon on and I was froze, and it wasn't very nice, so make sure you bring a little cardie or a coat. Tip 7. So tip 7 is going to the toilet. What I do, if you really want a toilet all the time, which some people do, then go just before the show starts and then go on the break, and then you can go after if you like. But sometimes it is a bit hard getting out of your seat and going to the toilet between watching the show. You can obviously do it, but it's just disturbing everyone else. But if you need to go, you need to go. But just make sure you're going on your toilet breaks, and then no one will get in a mood around you. Tip 8. So tip 8 is go to the theatre a bit early, because I always do and I really enjoy it. I like seeing the theatre being filled up slowly, and I just enjoy going around the theatre as well, just in the bars and stuff. Then you get seats as well then, because it just gets really busy if you come in late, and I do not recommend that. Tip 9 is if you would like to get merchandise, which I do, and I've got my Happy Days a new musical here, which I bought that when I saw it a few years ago. You can get things there like t-shirts, hoodies, fridge magnets, bags, cups and things like that, and programs, which is most important. I would recommend getting to the theatre early and go in there straight away when it's not busy. When it gets right to the start of the show, it gets really busy then when people are coming in, and also at the break people are like, oh, I'm gonna go and get that now, what I saw when I walked in, and then everyone's there, which I don't recommend being in the big queue and then thinking, oh no, I've got to get back to my seat for the second part. And also at the end of the show it gets really busy as well. The massive queues for the merchandise, it takes them ages to get right to the end. I recommend just go in a bit earlier and have a look at the merch, and whatever you'd like to buy, then buy it right then. Tip 10. So my last tip is when the show is ended, it takes a long time to get out of the theatre. There are a lot of people there, a lot of people. So I recommend just planning in your journey that you're going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes late when coming out. And also the car park, if you're parked a car, especially in the Bristol Hippodrome, it gets really busy. What me and my mum do, we know when the show is about to end, so we quickly run out of the side door, which you're allowed to do. So we just quickly run to the car park and get straight out. It can take a long time to get out, and I was an hour and a half once. So that was not nice when you had work in the morning. So just be prepared, prepare yourself, and and you'll be fine. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching this week's musical theatre video. If you would like to comment, that'd be great. I'd love to hear your views on any more tips, or if the tips have helped you, that'd be brilliant. I will see you next Wednesday for another musical theatre video. Bye guys! Hello, and welcome to another musical theatre video. Hope you've all had a good week. This week, I'll be talking about my local theatre, which I always go to ever since I was little, and that is the Bristol Hippodrome. The Bristol Hippodrome was built in 1912, which was a long time ago. I have been there since